Hello.
I think you're good.
Do you want to turn the volume off of that? Right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are going to, as I always say, slow roll the start of this because it is day 12 of our days of Christmas. 12 days.
12.
We have done this 12 days. It's been so much fun. We so love everyone that's coming here. Let us know where you're coming from, where you're joining us from in the comments. We really appreciate all of the love that everybody has brought us. They've been coming. We really appreciate it. It's been so nice. Nathan is here with me today. I'm Melody. We're here at the CutterPillar home offices. I've been with CutterPillar for 7 years now. Nathan's been with us. How long? It feels like 7 years.
Since August.
Since August now. It's about almost 6 months now.
Yeah, in the industry for about 18 years.
Yes.
CutterPillar here for what seems like three months, 3.5 months, 4 months. So.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's been fun. We've loved having Nathan with us, and he's been very beneficial and very helpful, and we're very excited for that. Good morning, Keisha Parker from Utah. Welcome.
Good morning, Keisha.
Welcome, Sue. Helen joins us Helen, we see you so many mornings. We so appreciate you coming. From Rhode Island. I wonder what the weather's like in Rhode Island. We had a little snow over the weekend here in Utah, but not a lot. Did you get a lot of snow at your house? Nathan's house is at a bit higher elevation than mine, so sometimes he gets more snow than me.
But Sally Blair joining us.
Minnesota.
Thank you. Oh, here we go. Teresa.
I have never felt so cold as I did when I was in Minnesota once. It was a couple of years ago. I had a layover and then we missed our flight and we had to stay at a hotel near the airport. It was like minus 14 degrees. That was bone chilling. So
that's
in Minnesota, I have all the respect in the world.
I can do the dry coolness when it starts getting damp and those things, and then the brisk winds. That is fierce.
It's too much. Yeah.
We have Mushka. We know Mushka. Thanks for joining us as well.
Good morning, Mushka.
In fact, I know Mushka. I was talking to her here. She's a good friend and works actually with myself as well. And works with CutterPillar and helps out quite a bit with many things. She was talking about it being minus like 14 degrees Celsius, by the way. So
in Canada over the weekend?
She's up in Toronto area. So very,
Mushka.
very cold.
More power to you up there.
I don't admire that. That makes me feel like I don't know if I want to walk from the building to the car. So
no, that's like you work from home in your bed and you never get out.
Hey Bethany,
kind of
thanks for joining us.
Good morning,
today.
Bethany. Hello, everybody. We are very, very excited again to have everybody here. And this is day 12 of our 12 days of Christmas. And we made a crazy decision for our 12th day because we have had so much fun and we've had such great response for everybody that we have decided to put everything back on sale just for today.
A unique day.
Crazy.
A unique time.
Yes.
Not something that happens. We weren't really planning on it, then we were planning on it, but we're going to talk a little bit more about what that is in just a minute. However, before we do so, maybe if we can have those people who are joining with us, let us know, raise of hands. If you have anything from CutterPillar, great. I'd love to know if there has been a project. Now, here's the tough thing. Not just a project. Did you by chance work on a project for this year in this season? I'm curious to know, did you use your CutterPillar for a Christmas project or even a Thanksgiving? I would love to see that. Put that in. We're going to bring some of those comment ups here in just a minute. The other thing I'm curious to know is what might you be looking forward to using that project? What type of project might you be using it for coming up? Like we've got the new year. I don't know if you're looking at setting some New Year goals about I want to triple the amount of projects that I'm doing, or I just want to get the ones done that I have, or I want to stock up because I'm excited about doing a lot more. I don't know where you're at. But
because we all have projects and we all start the projects and then life gets in the way and we can't finish the projects. And then we find a new project and we start a new project and then we can't get that done and we find a new project. And that's kind of the perpetual crafter life for me anyway. I feel like it's everybody else as well. But yeah, did you get any projects done, Nathan? I got a couple of done this year with my CutterPillar.
No, I fortunately am not the biggest of cutter or paper or quilting.
Yes.
No, I did not. I will have to tell you that. I have used some of them here. They're amazing.
Yes.
But I bore people and they're like, hey, what do you love doing? Like, seriously, people are like if I don't want to talk to people, I always just tell them, what do you do? I do sales. By the way, that's not really what I do. I do several things more than that.
Yes.
I love way too much business strategy. I love coming up with like with all the CutterPillar, the clients, the customers, and the products. Like, how do we create experiences? Like, I love thinking about changing from what most people think of. I just want to sell somebody good. I'm like, no, let's help make this way more impactful. So how do we create experiences around this?
And
so I spend a lot of time on that.
Yes,
like, I read a lot. I do a lot about that.
He does.
And so I'm not much of a crafter. My wife did an amazing tree. I know you've done a lot of trees. So our tree
I have done a lot of trees. Yes.
And a lot of you are going to probably like, boo, Nathan. Like, I love being with that. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't want to have to decorate. I love enjoying the decorations.
Yes.
I don't enjoy decorating. I don't know if that's you out there.
No,
some people do, some people don't.
I get that. At my house, some of you know that have joined us on past lives we've done during our 12 days here. I have 12 trees done at my house this year, and my husband was in charge of one. So my husband was in charge of one tree.
If I was, it wouldn't be done.
It's
still be missing some more.
Dude, when I look at it, it's like it's not done. If you ask me, he thinks it's done.
It'd probably be done. It is not like stuff on it, and probably from one angle because that's all.
Yes, there's nothing on the back. He's a huge Star Trek fan, and he didn't love Christmas. We started dating. I started buying him Star Trek Christmas ornaments to get him into Christmas. So that's the tree that he's in charge of. And every day, every morning, I go into the living room where it is in the corner, and I look at it and I go, "Would you like me to finish your tree?" And he's like, "It's done." And I'm like, I have to leave it. I have to leave it.
All right, we're going to welcome a few more people. If you're coming, let us know where you're coming from. We've got a few others joining us. Good morning from Massachusetts. Thanks, Gene, for joining with us. Got another one to Craft with Bethany who's just saying love and participate in the 12-day series. If you've been with us, this is day 12. This is
day 12 of our 12-day series. Yeah.
Here we have another one.
Ohio.
It says Digital Designs by PJ. It looks like.
Yes.
Welcome, PJ.
Welcome.
We got another one here. Sally. Banning, California. I'm hoping that weather's down there. I know there's a lot of great places to ski. We've been very dry on snow. They've been making it.
They've been making snow. Yeah.
But you asked me earlier, my home, I'm about halfway up the hill. We've had snowplows come by and stuff, but like, I'm not a big fan of having to go out and use the snowblower. So this year it's been great because I've kind of let it melt.
Yeah.
So I did on Saturday go scrape a few last pieces of ice off.
That happens.
That's a big thing. And then my quick story is our place, we get 2 years ago, we called it Snowmageddon. It was pretty bad. So the worst thing is if you think anybody's been out there in the region where it snows, it's not that bad if it snows and you can move snow. The challenge is if it blows and then it recreates major drift. So that's what happens up at our home if it snows.
Because it gets windy, right?
If it's cold enough, the wind sits there and then it whips it around. We've had 6 to 8 feet tall piles next to my garage. So I used to have this little small snowblower. And when we moved in, these were the 2 questions they always asked me. And like legitimately, this is what happens when somebody else new moves into the neighborhood. We're like, "Hey, you have a snowblower?" And they're like,
like the person
that, "Yeah, no, we didn't need one." Like, "No, how big's your snowblower?" Because like you're probably going to need something big. So I had a big 38-incher, commercial grade, can shoot 60 feet.
Oh, nice.
2 years ago, I was clearing my car and piling it on the other side when I was doing my driveway. So that was big. Not this year. I hope we get more snow.
We need.
I mean, we need snow.
I know we don't like. Growing up, my mom was always like, "We love the snow in the mountains. We don't need it here in the valley in Salt Lake City, Utah. In the mountains, snow all you want up there, but just don't bring it down here." So,
yeah, we did ask earlier if you have completed any projects with CutterPillar and any of the tools. Let us know. This is just a comment. New to CutterPillar, Helen. Thank you. We love that you're connecting with us as a new person. Teresa, this is an interesting one. So Teresa just got a legit kit.
So legit kits are so cool. Those of you that may not know about legit kits, paper piecing kits, look them up. I met the Legit Kit boys a few years ago. We've seen them out on the show circuit. They have some phenomenal designs and projects. They are so cool. So if you're a paper piecer or if you want to get into it, Legit Kits is a good way to go for sure.
We got a Miki. That's what I call it, Miki, right? McFarland here from Montana.
Montana, great. Thank you all for joining us.
We'll go ahead and get started with the products. And we're going to talk about the special. Now, you brought this up earlier. Today, on the 12th day, what is the 12th day? So let me bring up the kind of the banner so everybody can see. We're going to kind of let this one roll at the bottom here.
Yes.
During the entire 12 days, what have we been doing? Talk about this a little bit.
So during the 12 days series, which I like that we called it that, that's fantastic. Our 12-day series, we have had a different product on sale every day. And it's been so much fun.
From the launch of a new product like the mini toe.
We had a new product launch. We've had some special bundles that we launched just for this, things like that.
Flip and fold.
We've had the flip and fold, the ultra, the mini, the basic with the glass mat, the premium. I'm throwing all these, I'll get more specific about what all that is in just a minute, but we've had different things every single day. And throughout the 12 days, we have our coupon code, 12 days for 15% off anything on the website. So even if it is not an extra sale because it's part of our 12 days extravaganza, you can still get 15% off of anything on the website with that coupon code 12 days. So be sure and use that when you go there. But it's been super fun to show off all of our products, talk a little bit about how you're going to use them and things like that. And then today we decided on our 12th day, we went back and forth. We mentioned this a little bit earlier. We went back and forth on what do we want to do on the last day. We want it to be a big shebang because it's the last day. What are we going to do? We've done so much already. Everything's back on sale today, guys.
So let me just
Everything
ask this.
is back
Do you have
on
a
sale
shopping
today.
list for yourself or for others? We're getting really close. Everybody knows this week is the week pre-Christmas. Shipping is going to get tight. Last purchases are going on. The reason we wanted to finish our 12 days today is that way we can make sure that you would receive your goods in the mail in time for Christmas. And so if you've had a thought and if you had a list, one day I want, and like during this, we're going to go through and we're just going to talk about the products. What we'd love to do is open this up for questions.
Yes, any questions.
And the reason we say this is because a lot of you might be waiting or not sure. Maybe first quarter next year, maybe January, you'll get into the year. I'll get back to my craft and hobbies. And here's why. Let me just quickly. I like to talk about checks and X's, meaning there's reasons we're like, now's not the time. And I'm pretty sure right now, if I were to ask anybody here, is everybody feeling like, oh, I'm getting ready for next week? Put your hands up. Yeah, that's me. However, come on, we know that's an excuse. You're with me right now. All you have to do is hit buy.
Yes.
Cart buy.
Yes.
Cart buy. Now, whether you're ready to use this now or not because you're not into the project side because you are prepping for Christmas, that's great.
That's fine.
Let's do it just right after
Get ready
because you
for
know
it.
one of the next biggest buying seasons that happens the days is actually the day after Christmas.
Right.
We're not planning on being
We're
back.
not-
So this is that post-Christmas buy time is
This
now.
is the time.
So you can have it in your home and you can just dive in to all those other projects that you are so excited about complete. So that is why
Yes.
if it's on your list,
It's the time. Like now's the time.
put it in.
What I've used to do with my husband, who is bless him, I love him so much. He's terrible at gift giving. Terrible. He likes to buy presents at like 7-Eleven on the way over. You know, those little like terrarium flower things that you get at the grocery store. That's what he does. So what I started doing a few years back.
I'm liking where you're going.
Yes. What I started doing a few years back is when my mother was with me, we would buy stuff together. I would give them to her. She would give them to him and say, I thought Melody might like this. And then he would give it to me and be like, I picked a great thing for you. But what I started doing after that was I just buy myself something. I wrap it up. I put it under the thing. I put his name on it. And I say, thank you. And he is never going to admit he didn't do it.
One of the best ways
if he gets the credit.
My wife and I, it's great to have a surprise, but I'll tell you, it's also great to get what you want.
Yes.
Sometimes better to me. My kids will ask, Dad, what do you want? Right now, I'm in one of those phases where like, I don't want anything. Don't get me anything. Yeah. And then the other problem is because I always bought what I wanted. So now it would be the same thing.
Buy what you want. Buy what you want. That's what we're trying to say. All right, so let's get into this.
I was going to just bring this up really quick. This is Sally Blair. We did ask if they've done anything. So she just says best way to use the light board for quilting, and she is so true. In fact, let's go ahead and get into this. So as we're going through, we're going to be keeping the chat open. Please let us know. Ask a question. We want to go ahead and answer that. We're here to do some product clarifications, some demonstrations, and hopefully what you can do is think about and imagine how might you use these in your home? What projects would you love to use with these tools, and what projects does it make easier? What projects does it make it more enjoyable? What time of the day? If we're going to talk, right?
Yes.
Might you be able to continue crafting? Because we'll talk through this. So Melody, go ahead. Let's go ahead and talk.
So we're gonna go in order of the days, if that works. That way my brain can keep everything straight. We won't miss everything. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, go through all of them. So our first day, our day one product was our fantastic flip and fold mat. So this is it right here. This is our flip and fold mat.
Move this to the side.
Yes, we need a little space for this one. Okay. So our flip and fold cutting mat is 5 cutting mats in one. It's phenomenal. So it's made out of a new material called TPE. It's a little bit different than the
zoom in on the top on that.
Yeah.
So you can see, there you go.
It's a little bit different than the typical cutting mat surface that you guys are used to. It's a little smoother, but it's super, super durable. It also will not warp. Let me get behind you here just a second. We did a little test in the car in Utah. Now we're in a desert society, so it gets pretty hot. And I know it gets hotter in other places in the country. So we are not the hottest, but it gets pretty hot, especially in the car, 116 degrees. or
and
so.
you can
I
talk
think.
about that. You've heard or you've left something out, right? And
Right.
It's just been damaged because of the heat. Look at this.
How many of you have left your cutting mat on a heat surface?
We're gonna look at this from the top. Like now, legitimately, what you're seeing is these were just samples left in the car over a period of time, and this is the results that we saw.
Look at that. But we left a sample of ours in the car as well, and look at this. Oh,
let's zoom out so they can see. So look at this. This is what we were getting.
Look at this.
Product after product after product, and here is the flip and fold mat.
Completely fine.
Like just lays absolutely normal.
Yeah.
Really,
so that's
no difference or damage done to that one at all.
That's really my favorite thing, because I'll go to a class or I'll go to a retreat with all of my supplies in my car, and sometimes I don't have time to get them out of the car and put it away. And then I'm like, oh no, I left it in the hot garage. What's going to happen? No worries about that with this one. So
now, really quick, you saw me move my computer.
Yeah, right? We need a little more space.
By the way, this is my little switcher that we have for top down. So I'm just going to pull this to the side here. So
and I'm going to show you how this works. All right, this is how this works. So this is the perfect size for little stuff. You've got 11 by 17 cutting grid right here, so that you can cut all of your little pieces right on top of this, right?
Yep, there you go.
Then
zoom in so you can show
if you need a little bit more space, you can just flip it open, and you've got your 17 by 22, which is almost a fat quarter size. So you've got your 17 by 22 right on here. You can cut right on this size. Now, if you need a little more space.
Now, really quick, I know you're seeing this, but I like, and I'm looking at it, it's fully gridded, fully
gridded. Yes.
Top to bottom. I'm looking
all of your
angles.
You've got
I
all
also like this. We've not really ever talked about this, but a lot of you, if you don't know, the numbers on the outside really, really help if you are using grids, even though some people use them and some people do not. But I love that. So sorry, this is
no, that's okay.
We're now the fold one was open.
It's not even all the way yet. So then if you need another size, you can flip it over and open it again. So this is your 17 by 48. We have these little puzzle pieces. So when you snap these little puzzle pieces together, that will make the surface totally flat. So you're not going to have any issues.
Because a lot of people ask at this point, they're looking, and we have this little puzzle piece here. And tell us the purpose. When you created this and we were looking at the design for CutterPillar, what is this helping do?
This holds it together because it's super nice and tight. Because like the idea of doing this originally, like if this is not snapped in all the way, you've got a little like valley right here, and you will get caught up on the where the mat butts against itself. Yes. So you need that snapped together, and then it's nice and smooth.
And I say this because probably the number one question we'd ask is, can you cut across?
You can cut right across.
And the thing that is interesting is absolutely, because these puzzle pieces pull that together, what we do is we actually eliminate the gap that is in here, and it allows us to cut across.
Gap. I couldn't think of that word.
There you go. The gap. The other thing too is obviously, if you'll notice that this gap, you actually can't see it because it's so tightly put together. It's not on one of the lines. It's actually just offset.
Yes.
That way, if you were cutting online, you would miss it. Ideally, what we don't want to do is put it right on top of that.
Right.
But what's nice is this size. We don't have any other gaps going across the entire surface.
No, and we also did that on the fold. So you've got your fold lines here as well. Those are not on the line.
No gaps actually here.
So there's
and no on the line either.
So you're not going to cut. I mean, don't cut straight on the fold, but it's off the line. It's off the line by about 1/8 of an inch, so that you will not worry about doing that.
Now this looks pretty big already. So this is the entire side. This is how wide again?
This is 48 inches wide by 17 inches. So this is really great. So if you're doing your strips, because this is how much it'll take. If you're at a retreat or you're at a class, you can share with your friend. Like you can work on it and your friend can work on it at the same time. You can fight about using the space. So this is perfect for those kinds of things.
A lot of you do that, right? A lot of you are elbowing.
Yeah, elbowing for the space. Or if you're like me on your crafting table and you have all of your project stuff all around you, but you need a little more space than the 17 by 12 by 17, you can roll this right out. But if you need more space than that, it'll open one more time. Look at that. Again, make sure your puzzle pieces are snapped together.
I wish you could see this. Like, so this table that we have, this is a full size table, and it is bigger.
It's bigger than the table
by a little bit, which is nice because the total cutting space now is.
So the gridded area is 36 by 48, but that's the whole gridded area. Like sometimes you find mats out there that are 36 by 48, but that's the full mat size. That's not the gridded area size. So that's not the measuring size. So the mat itself is about 1 inch all the way around, bigger than that. So the mat itself is about 37 by 49. I had to do math in my head really quick there, because the grid is 36 by 48. So you have a full 48 inches of measuring space, which is phenomenal.
I'm just like looking at this, like look how big. Like go ahead and pull it my way a little bit. Like this just goes and it goes and it goes.
Look at that.
Whoa. So this is a giant mat. Now, again, some people will use this. I've had a lot of people, as I've talked to them, who have bought this in person, and whether it's been through chats and other things, a lot of people just don't have space in the room for something this big, right? And so
Right.
this portable mat is a great thing to get out. And where would you potentially use this if you're going to need to cut big projects, but you don't have room?
You don't have
your
room.
studio
So
area?
yes. So like I said, this is what I use it for all the time. Like I said, my table in my craft room is full of my projects. And then if I need to cut something bigger, I'll try to get my big mat and take it into the dining room or something. And it was leaning against the wall the whole time, waiting for me to move it to the dining room. And now it has a curl on it. And now I can't get it flat anymore. But I can put this out on my dining room table. I can do my cutting, and then I can put it away. It doesn't need to stay out on the dining room table. I can fold it back up and I can put it away because you store it like this. So this is all the space it'll take up on your shelf. You can just store it just like this. And it's an amazing time-saving thing. And when you do go to classes or retreats or events, to have all of those mat sizes, it doesn't matter what project you're working on. You don't have to bring more than one mat. You can just bring this one.
5 different size.
5 different sizes.
And by the way, that means double-sided. Like we've
double-sided, both sides.
This is, let me just do a top zoom. This one's not necessarily gridded, but if you look at this gridded here, right? Now, obviously, when you open this up, you end up with grids on both these sides, whether it's the left or the right.
Yes.
Again, this opens up. I'm going to just flip this open just to show people again. This is, by the way, if you think about this, like we've got the inside, we've got the outside.
Yep.
And so even if you end up using only smaller sections because you use this at, like, I like to talk about like half of the full side, man, I'm telling you, that's going to, I feel like this is going to last forever because you've got cutting surface, along with different size, based on the projects, based on the space. And when you need to, it can be as big as you want. And when you want it to be as small, it can completely shrink down.
Completely shrink down. Set it on your shelf. This is a great Christmas present for you to have your husband give to you.
Let me talk about this. What I've heard and when we've seen this, this is not your average mat. No, it's not going to be your average mat price too. This is going to be a little bit more of a premium. But we have found is that the reason people are buying this is because they have not been able to find something that does what this does. They can't find something they can expand. They don't have something that's easily to store because when we store on my bench, you guys know your mats get damaged. I know we used to carry several of them for my wife behind the piano. Every time I pulled them out, there was always something a little bit different with them.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a place to keep them flat. And again, 36 by 48, good luck in keeping that flat. Some of you might be blessed with an amazing studio.
That you can leave it out all the time. I would love that for you. I love that for you. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. But it's so, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. It's all the different sizes that you can do with this. I want you to think of going to the store and starting from scratch and buying 5 different mat sizes. Buy a 17 by 12 by 17, buy a 17 by 24, buy a 24 by 36, buy a 17 by 48, if you can even find one that size. Buy a 36 by 48. And how much are you spending for that? Now this retails at $199, $199.99, $200. But today, this is the last day of our 12 days of Christmas. Today, you can use that coupon code 12 days and get 15% off, but it's already on sale at 30% off.
So if you go in there and look, you're going to be able to stack the coupon on top of the discount. And that's why today is the last of the 12 days. And if you have a list, now is the time to buy them. We're going to be able to get them out, ship them to you. And again, I love this because we have found a lot of people, even though you have a mat, put a number for the amount of mats you have at home. And I guess you're going to say it's 1, it's 2, it's 3. And the reason is you use those for different things.
Yeah.
17. At the end, 1 is they're not traveling with you, obviously. Some of them might be, but they're small and you're like, boy, I wish it was a little bit bigger. Others, you just don't have something that size because there's nowhere to store them or to hold them. And so we've had a lot of people love at augmenting what they already have by getting a product just like that. And that's why this was manufactured and why we put this together to create that for those exclusive individuals out there that really want the flexibility that comes in the flip and fold that you can't get with anything else. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
That's our day one.
Let's see if anybody else has questions on this. I just see we have Wilma saying,
thank you, Wilma.
Great, thank you very much. It's wonderful to see that. A lot of other people talking about some different things that they have too. Here's a person says, I have a huge plastic mat I use on the dining room table. Have to store under your bed.
Yes.
You're so right, Jane. That's what most people have to do.
So Teresa here has a question.
Here you go. Tons of mats also. Be great just to have one. And then where
above Wilma, Teresa has a question. Teresa.
Right here?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. So how did the measurements number go? So I think this is what you're asking, Teresa. The thing that's really great about this is when you start on this mat right here on the first side, when you've got your 17 by 11, it starts at 0, right? So you've got 1 through 17 and 1 through 11 here. Then when you open it up, it starts over. it starts over at 0. So here it goes 17 by 22. And every time you open it up, it starts at 0 again.
Your starting corner again, so that the mats continue to, in essence, it's a duplicated mat. Next mat, next mat, next mat, next mat.
Yep. So you can always start back at number 1. All right. So let's move on to day 2 of our 12 days of Christmas, which was for our paper crafters. Raise your hand or put a number 1 in there if you're a paper crafter. We'll go through our paper crafter product here really quick for you. We have our crease scoreboard on sale. So the crease scoreboard is the best scoreboard out there. I've been in paper crafting for 20 years. I've worked in the industry, and I've worked for manufacturers. I've worked for retail locations. I've worked for all kinds of places. And this is the best scoreboard that I've ever come across, because you can score 2 different ways on this. And this is amazing. So first of all, it's not a weird color, which I really love because it's white and it's translucent. You guys can kind of see me through there. It's translucent. It's really hard if your scoreboard is dark and you're using dark paper. You can't see what you're doing. I really love that it's bright and it's white, and you can do that. So your tools are over here in the little tray here. So it comes with a ball stylus instead of a bone folder. And the reason you want a ball stylus instead of a bone folder is it's a much smoother score on that ball stylus. Where's the, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So see that? It's a ball. It's not, the bone folders will poke through your paper when you score too hard, but the ball stylus has a very much less chance of doing that. So that's really great. So that's the first part that's really good about it. The second part is on the back side of your tool, there's this little metal channel right here. I'll kind of try to hold that up too. There's a little metal channel right there. And that metal channel is the second way you score. So I'll show you that in just a second. So first of all, when you're scoring, you use your ball stylus. I still use my ball stylus when I'm doing accordion fold, if I'm doing bookbinding or anything like that, because you can go every 1/4 of an inch, super easy, super smooth. This is 85 pound shimmer textured cardstock. So it's nice and smooth. Now, the other thing that's so great. So this piece that comes out of here, it stays in there really nice and tight. This is our reverse score. So this is where you're going to use the backside of your tool, and that fits over the top of this little metal piece. So you're going to take this and you're going to set it wherever you need your score. Say you need to score at 2 inches. You're going to set that in there, and you're going to put the paper over the top, and you're going to use the backside of your tool, and that's going to go over the top of this metal piece. Now, I will tell you, as a paper crafter, you will feel really weird about this. You will feel like this is wrong, and it will take a little getting used to, because it's completely backwards of the way we're used to scoring. But then when you score this way, and you're just going to run that right over the top of your paper, now it doesn't matter which direction you fold your cardstock, it's not going to tear.
I think one of the interesting things when I saw this for the first time is, again, a lot of time you're going to be using the bone score and a lot of these other things, very directional. I think like what you just showed was another way that you can create one of those folding items and add the right amount of flex, right? Because it looks like it's just a little over 1/16 inch. And so that way, when you bend and fold this paper, we end up not getting any of the cracks or the bends or the shears that tend to happen, especially when dealing with some of that thicker cardstock.
Yes.
And let me do a zoom in, because you're also showing this.
So this is, this is the thing. Like, it doesn't matter which direction you do it. So like when you're taking classes and you're making a project, it says, I
like this too, or
you have
this
to,
way.
or this way. Yes. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
To the fold, it simply creates that because of that unique.
I like to joke that you don't need an engineering degree to use this to know which way the grain of the paper goes, because so often when you're scoring with your bone folder and your traditional scoreboard, if you go against the grain, it's going to crack your paper. But this one, it doesn't matter.
Close up too. I'm just going to, if we can get this here, I'm going to see. It's kind of a little hard to see.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because what we end up with is we end up with that little bit of a groove in there. So depending on the way, this is where it's fully in. There we go.
There you go.
Folds in.
Yeah.
You look at that there. On the other side, we end up with that little bit of a bump. And so really we can fold it this way if we want.
Yeah.
Or
it doesn't matter if the valleys are in or out or whatever the rules are. You can do it however you need to.
And I'm going to go ahead and kind of move us on. I know we've got a lot of
we have a lot to get through. I just want to say one more thing about
this.
One more thing about this. It will score up to 110 pound cardstock. It will score vellum. It will score tissue.
Tissue's the other one I would
tissue. It will score tissue paper. It will score napkins. It will score all kinds of stuff. Yes, any sort of medium. Fantastic. The best scoreboard out there. So that is our crease scoreboard. It is on sale today. I think it's 25% off. Plus, you can use that 12 days coupon for 15% off.
Never thought you wanted a crease or something to work with your paper and making it a little bit easier? That is definitely it.
It.
All right, what's next on our list?
So our day 3 is our little bundle, which is I'm not sure if we could, I'm going to tell you what the bundle is, but we're going to tell you how that works a little bit later because that's a little more.
That's good.
We'll kind of get through this really quick. So for our, oh, look at that. We've got a safety pin stuck to it.
By the way, this is quickly on the last one from William on the crease.
Yes. We'll make,
Have it, love it.
oh, I'm so glad you haven't loved it. It's the best scoreboard. It seriously is. So today is as the last day of our 12 days of Christmas. This was our day 4, I think. I skipped one. We'll go back. Okay. And it doesn't matter what day it was. I don't know why I'm sticking to that. That doesn't matter. So if you buy 2 sets of our magnets, they come in sets of 2. So if you put 2 of these in your shopping cart and a set of your magnetic plates in your shopping cart, the plates are going to be free. So it's buy 2, get the plates for free. Today is the last day for that. Plus you can use your coupon 12 days to get 15% off of that. These are for your glow light boards. So for those of you that have a glow light board, you can make it magnetic. So these plates will stick on the back of your glow light board, and then you can use magnets to hold your project down. We'll show this a little bit
pull back
more.
down and show you, but it's great. It helps hold everything on the surface. Yes, it goes through everything on the light board, through the cutting board, with papers, with fabrics, with stacked fabrics, etc. And one of the nice things about the plates is you can put them wherever you want.
You can stick them wherever you want. We'll show you as you, we'll show you as you come through.
Right.
So on our day 2 of Christmas, I told you I got my days all mixed up. We launched our brand new mini tote.
This is what I had a chance to introduce to the world.
Yes, we introduced it to the world during our 12 days of Christmas. So this is our glow mini tote. So this is the cutest thing. It's the cutest thing. So it opens kind of like a book. And then this is where you can store your glow mini right here. That's where your glow mini goes. And then we've got extra storage pockets over here. We've got a full storage pocket that fills the entire lid. We've got a mesh storage pocket so you can see the stuff that you're storing. Plus, if you've got scissors or something in there, it's not going to rip a hole in the pocket. And then we have another storage pocket up here where you can put stuff in also. So this is our glow mini totes. It's nice nylon canvas, super durable. You've got a full pocket here on the front as well. And then double zippers. So it zips up kind of like a portfolio, which I just think is so stinking cute. And then you've got your briefcase handle, and then it comes with a shoulder strap. You've got all metal hardware, so it's super nice and durable. This is so great.
Really quick, who is this perfect for? If I have a glow mini and I'm going to be traveling, that's a great one.
Yes.
This also is great because I saw when we demonstrated this, several different of your projects to go with you. So if you're going to be doing something on your lap, open this back up for me.
Yep.
One of the differences between other bags, not only ours, but others that are out there, is you can't necessarily open it like this on your lap. And so I thought that this was a very great thing because you don't have to pull and remove everything at the same time. You can keep it, open it, still do things within this. When you're ready, fold this back up and close it together. So that way you're not having to literally move and pull everything and put it to the side. You can use while you're with this. And so
you can kind of organize your steps too, right? You can put your pieces here, your other stuff here. You can organize your steps and keep everything separate while you're working on your piece and traveling around. Take that out because we're going to need that in a minute.
Nice. So on sale as well. Use your coupon.
So use your coupon for that. Brand new, not extra discount on that one because we just got it last week. But 15% off.
Had a lot of people say, hey, they saw that, they picked it up to take. In addition, if you have your mini or a few other things, great. We've got a new product that's going to come out here. We might announce it later this week. That also
we are announcing it later this week. That could fit in there too. That's a secret. Only you guys know because you're here. That's a secret. Don't tell anybody.
Secret. And I have something else coming out.
Yeesh. Okay.
And then, by the way, thank you for the comment, Gianna. It is a well-designed bag.
Yes.
Our team does take quite a bit of time. We look at what the customers and what you've wanted. We look at the products. We look to make sure that if you do have something, it maximizes the different ways you can use that. So, all right, what do we have next?
All right, next is our Glow Premium. So this is the first time we're talking about our light boards. So I'm going to go over it just a little bit. You guys may know what they are, but I'm just going to kind of go from the beginning, just really quick.
Too, while we do this, let's go ahead and clear the light boards. Let's talk about
all
this one and then the different ones and their different sizes. And that way we kind of understand if you have a light board, why might be a great time now to add another size. You'll also understand the differences from a function because we do have not just different sizes. This particular one she'll talk about is different than a few of others.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about some of those different items as well. But let's go ahead and clear all of those.
We'll do all the light boards right now. If
you have any questions, let us know as we're going through regarding light boards, and we can pull any one of these back out and we'll be able to answer.
Yes, perfect. So this is our Glow Premium. This is our middle-sized light board. And so all of our light boards they all have multiple light levels. So you can adjust that light setting depending on what you're working on or what time of day it is. We mentioned a little bit earlier about the time of day. These kind of help you keep crafting late into the night, right? We have a little button right here, just a little touch button, and that will adjust the light settings. The Glow Premium happens to have 3 different light settings. So what can you do on the light board? So if you move this aside on the light board,
And
you
again,
can do,
just to re-clarify, this same thing, slightly different sizes can be done on the
Any of them.
different
Yes.
sides. Okay.
Yes. So this you can do your pattern tracing for your applique, for your paper piecing, for your embroidery patterns. You can do all of that right on here. You can do the tracing. I think we might be missing our tracing stuff.
Okay.
But you can do all of that right on here. You can also do
You're good.
Yep, you can also do diamond art. So if you're doing diamond painting or anything like that, paint by number, things like that, you want to flip the camera for me, Nathan? This is how you kind of see it typically on your table. When you change that light setting, you can see your piece is so much easier, and you can do all of that so very much easier right in there. So you can do all of that kind of stuff: stamping, coloring, sketching, calligraphy, paint by number, diamond art, all kinds of crafts right on top of the light. The other thing that's so great about the light is when you are doing crafting in your room, you will typically make shadows on your projects yourself. You can see my hands there. They're making these shadows. I had to always kind of look around myself to be able to see what I was doing. But when you've got that light below.
Think about that. I'm asking this question, and you've been working on something. The later the evening goes, you flip on a light, right? Because the light that's either coming through the window or around and off, that you probably put lights. You start creating your own shadows over those areas that you're currently working on.
Yes. So it just helps to see too what you're doing, because your whole workspace is now lit instead of your overhead lights and the shadows that happen with that. So the other really cool thing about our LED light boards, they all come with a translucent self-healing cutting mat.
I love this. And by the way, to me, this is one of the biggest defining differences. And so go ahead and kind of just pay attention to what she's going to show you, because this legitimately completely changes the way light boards can be used. So it's pretty amazing.
So they all come with a translucent self-healing cutting mats. So you can see through there, right? The light will shine straight through there. They all have a textured surface on the back. So if it was a typical mat, it's going to slip around on your acrylic. But because it has that textured surface, it will stay put right on top of there. So what you can do with this is if you're doing paper piecing projects or anything with little templates or anything like this, you can take your fabric on the top of this, and then you can kind of see where your pattern will land on your project. There we go. So you can kind of see exactly where that's going to hit, right? You can see where that angel, if you want the angel in the middle, or if you want it off to the side, or if you want it falling off to the side. Because so often, like when I would do these kinds of things and I wouldn't do it this way, I would end up cutting the pieces out, and then I would have all this extra red, and I would have missed the design from the fabric. So you can center your flowers. You can make sure that the stripes are going the way you want them to do. Either way, that you can use your ruler and your rotary cutter, and you can cut your pieces out right on top of your light. So then let's say you can't see through the fabric, because you're not going to see through all of the fabrics. That's for sure. But when you're doing this, magic. Even if you can't see through your fabric, which you're not going to be able to all the time, because that light will shine through your ruler, you can tell if you're off your lines by the tiniest little bit. So that light helps you line everything up a lot more accurately. I now like to square everything up on top of the light and cut it out on here. So sometimes I need a bigger mat to do my piece cutting, and I'll use my flip and fold on my dining room table, and I'll cut my big fabric down to my smaller pieces. But I will square everything up on top of the light, because I can make sure that it's square. I used to think that I had a problem sewing straight. I realized I was cutting crooked. I wasn't sewing crooked. I can sew straight just fine. I couldn't cut straight.
I wasn't so fussy on my cutting. So I
wasn't so fussy. I was lazy.
I was
all over the place. So you can cut your pieces out right on top of the light.
And let's keep that. I'm just going to show. We talked about tracing a little bit. I don't have the other. I'll leave it on top. You're fine.
Yeah.
I was just going to go ahead and put this down and just kind of do another overhead shot. This is part of a picture that we took that was part of the cow. This is the finished project from there. So one of the powerful things, again, is you can use these for tracing. You can then use these because you now have that mat for cutting. And these two things go very, very well together, going from what a lot of other competitors have is I just have a light board, so we can do a lot of tracing. But what we can't do is we can't do the lineup on top of each other, as those two things go hand in hand as part of that process.
Amazing.
Well.
Amazing. So that's what all of our light boards do, all of those things that we just talked about. Any size light board, any one of them will do all those things. So let's talk about the differences.
Yeah. So what makes this one particularly, like this is one of our number one sellers.
This is our number one seller. This is our best-selling light board. So, I mean, the mini's coming close behind, but it's newer. So this is our best-selling light board. And the reason for that is this light board has an internal rechargeable battery. So I can take it off of the power cord and I can still use that. And that battery will last about 4 hours. So this is so great to take with you to classes, to retreats, to things like that. To sit in front of the TV when you're watching football with your husband and don't care about who's playing. You can work on your crafts. You can work on it late into the night, watching a movie or camping or in your fifth wheel or just outside. Or I like to hide in the basement in a room no one expects me to be in, and I keep the light low. They can't find me for a while. They'll find you eventually. But after it takes a little, where is she? Where is she? Yeah. But it's really great to be able to do all that stuff.
And then with this, one of the things I liked when you guys create this product specifically, again, not only the battery, I love the size, I love the portability. And then the other thing I thought about is if you think about your lap, something like this, we can't take and put
right.
it's way too
it's
big.
The perfect size.
We have the mini, which is great, and it's portable. So you can do that kind of more like a one-handed, or if you're
yes.
going to be on a leg, this one perfectly rests across both of
yes.
your lap pieces.
Right. Yes.
So you can be right in front of there. And again, I love the difference because you can go from tracing and doing everything you're going to be doing and transferring the pattern from what you're considering here. Just again, go from the tracing side. You can go directly from that over to the cutting.
To the cutting.
And the placing and the positioning.
Yes.
And then later on, we're going to show you another tool that works well with these later that you can use for even some pressing as well. But that's seamless
coming in just
as
a
part
second.
of the process,
yes.
because I feel like you're not having to get 2 or 3 or 4 tools out. You can work with them all together because it's been built into one.
Yes. Yes. My best friend had to have surgery on her foot. She broke her foot and had to have surgery. And so she didn't know what to do with herself for 2 weeks in bed. So she had this right next to her. She was able to just pick it up off the side. She charged it up overnight. She picked it up and she was able to work right in her lap in her bed because she couldn't go out and do anything.
Let me come back. We do have a couple of people making some comments on this. Thank you very much, Roma, for saying this. Best light board ever. It truly is when you look at not only how it works with its functions and its features, but the diversity and the other things it allows you to do.
Yes.
We always joke if you've used your coffee table and you're trying to put lights under it, you're back at the sliding glass door.
Right, when you're taping everything to the window.
We love to say that you can continue through all hours of the day and all hours of the night.
Yes.
And not only can you use it for the light board, you can use it for all of the cutting and all those other kinds of things that you can't do with the light illuminating through that to help aligning up those pieces for the foundation paper piecing, amongst many other things as well. And then this is a fun one that William was just saying, a new use for my glow.
To hide.
So I thought that was cute.
It's really great to do that. I promise.
Another one here.
Won't find you.
Have it, love it.
Yes, they're so great.
So
they're so great. So the next one I want to show you is our Glow Basic. Nathan, it's over here to your side. If you'll hand me that one right there. So this one here is our Glow Basic. It is the same exact size as our Glow Premium. So this is the same exact size. Really, the difference between the two is you can see this green one is not working because it's not plugged in. So the green one has to always be plugged in. This is the basic. The silver one, the premium one is the one that does not have to be plugged in.
Big difference again. Battery, non-battery.
Non-battery.
Same illumination, same process, same size.
Same size. Comes with a cutting mat.
Comes with a cutting mat that works on top of that as well.
So today, for our last day of our 12 days of Christmas, though, there is a bundle for sale on there that the basic comes with the glass mat. So Nathan mentioned we're going to...
Let's do the mini first really quick.
Okay.
Let's come back to Let's just finish that last size.
Okay.
Really quick, let's do this. I just wanted to show, I like kind of, this is a very clear thing because we have the big Ultra. We haven't turned this one on, by the way. This is a ginormous mat, and we'll come back and we'll just finish maybe with this with some features.
Sure.
Let's just show your mini off, and then let's...
Okay, so the mini is half. So the premium and the basic are half the size of the Ultra. The mini is half the size of these, right? So if you flip that over, so you've got your Ultra, which is 19 by 26. You've got your premium and basic, which are both 13 by 19. And you've got your mini, which is about 12 by 9 by 12, 10 by 12, 10 by 13, something like that. Somewhere in there.
There you go. Yeah.
Somewhere in there. So the mini is our newest light board. It's obviously smaller than the rest. It does
constructed a little bit different.
It's constructed a little bit different. It's got a full plastic casing all the way around it. So it's kind of more like an iPad than it is the laminated acrylic like the other boards are. So it's nice and durable, nice and sturdy. It's lighter weight than the rest of them are. It has 4 levels of light instead of just 3. So it gets a little bit brighter than the rest of them do. Plus this mini, we talked about the magnets and plates a few minutes ago. The mini is the only one that has magnetic plates already built into it. So you can use magnets to hold down your projects. So when you are working on your things, if you are tracing something and you have to like leave because the family calls you for something. Everyone always needs help with something. You need it to be able to stay in place. The magnets will hold down your project for you. If you have to leave and go do dinner or run carpool or whatever you need to stop and do. because that's when you're tracing your applique patterns. The thing that takes the most time is resetting it all the time, relining your lines back up, redoing all of that. You don't have to worry about that with this because the magnets will hold it down.
I love this. Now, again, do we have the top mat for this one too by chance?
It's somewhere. You tell them what you're going to tell
so
them.
This also has the cutting mat as well. So again, all of them come with cutting mat. I just like showing this. We always demonstrate how powerful those magnets are. The style of magnets and the design has purposely been done so that it not only goes through the paper and or the fabric, but if you also put the cutting mat on top, this also goes through and you can use it the same way, same level of effectiveness as you continue to cut or trace on any one of the levels based on how it's been put together. So
yes,
we've really loved this mini. It's been a great product to have. And you can kind of see if we go back to the overhead, here are the different sizes. We have the mini, we've kind of got our standard size. These are, the basics and the premiums. And then we've got this Gold Ultra. And we'll just finish really quick. We'll kind of come back to the glass mat here in just a minute. Just the biggest one when people are here. So why would somebody want the mini? Let's just go through this.
Okay,
I'll pull them off your waist. So the mini is?
The mini, because it's so tiny and lightweight, it's really great to throw in a bag to take somewhere. So this one is phenomenal for that kind of stuff. And it's super lightweight. It does have to be plugged in, but the cord is 6 feet long. And it's a USB on one end and a USB-C on the other end. So you can plug it into another kind of power source if you need to. So
we end up with these two sizes, very, very similar.
Very similar.
One of the cool things is the
premium will be on without a plug. The basic has to be plugged in, but the premium you can have unplugged, and the charge will last about 4 hours. There's an internal rechargeable battery.
Both come with the non-slip cutting mat.
Yes.
That works on top of those. I'll take those from you for just a moment.
And then we have the Ultra, which it's the Ultra. If you have space to leave this one out, this is the way to go. Like for real, this is the way to go.
To me, I like to talk about it. If you're like serious and you know that you want, and I know you're going to cover some of this, like some people like to have a few things set out as they're doing this, and then the space, because you can work on a couple different things, both from the paper crafting,
yes,
the sewing, the quilting, the foundation paper piecing side. So there's such a diverse way that you can use a mat at this size,
yes,
and not feel limited to the space that you're currently working within. So I think that's very, very powerful.
Yeah, that and the other ones are all great sizes, but they are limited because they're smaller. Like they'll fit on your lap. They're portable. They're super easy, and all of that is all true. But we always start with bigger things. We start with fat quarters. We start with bigger patterns. We start with bigger things as we cut them down to build our projects. This is the one when you're doing bigger pieces is phenomenal. So this one has 4 levels of light instead of just 3. So this one gets a bit brighter than the other ones do. The other cool thing on this one is the mat on this one comes all the way to the edge of the board, which it doesn't do on the other two, all the way to the edge. Nice. So the lighted area is 17 by 24, but the mat itself is 19 by 26. So you can overcut that 24 inches. So you can basically cut 26 inches long, which is so phenomenal.
I was just going to grab this.
Yeah, just grab a couple of sheets. So if you're a paper crafter and you need extra light when you're working on stuff, the cool thing about this is you can put 2 12 by 12 sheets of paper on this. So you can see the lines through this. If you're a paper crafter and you're doing a 12 by 12 layout double side, you can kind of tell. You can see in that camera a little bit that you can see the lines through that. So you can use these. Let's say this isn't fabric. Let's say this is paper. You can go across if you're doing a title or an element that you want to go from one side to the other, and you can use the lines. Then you know that you're 2 inches from the top on both sides. You can be accurate. You can be card making. All of those kinds
I love
of things.
this when you were talking about this again, and Keisha. As you look at this is a great way for you to kind of plan. And then if you're going to be opening and flipping through your different left or right pages or back to back, this is a great way so you know consistently where you're starting. If there is that top header, that header.
Yes, you can make sure. Yeah, and it's so great. And then you can do all the other things we talked about. You can do diamond art. You can do calligraphy. You can trace your patterns. You can do applique.
Let's just open this back up really quick.
Yeah, so
I love this one. Top down on this one really quick with the diamond art.
Yeah.
Just wanted you to see.
Look at that. Look how much better you can see those designs. It's so crazy.
And I'm not zoomed in on this, but if we were to be zoomed in, what we can see is that there are literally the different shapes for you to see.
Yeah.
When the light is not on, they
really
blend.
hard.
They blend together. It's very, very much the same. Once we turn the lights all the way up, we can see the differences. So not only can we match what we have on the side, but we can match those two exactly where they should be going on that diamond art itself, which is pretty darn amazing.
My husband did a giant paint by number on this because he stole mine. That's what he does. He's an artist, but he stole it. He did this giant paint by number and he loved it. And he used the magnets and the plates, which we talked about a few minutes ago, to hold his project down so it stayed in place and he can see it. I'm not sure if we have them stuck on the back of this.
I think we might. Let's just pull this up really quick. No, we don't. It's right underneath this. We've got this one right. No, let's just use this.
Okay. So we
So-
talked about the magnets and plates. So we showed you the mini that has magnetic plates already built in. You can get the special where you buy 2 sets of magnets and you get the plates for free. They are self-adhesive. So the little paper on the back will come off and you can stick that wherever you want to stick it on the back of your board to make it magnetic.
That way you can transform any surface you want. Melody often talks about when we do that. That what you can do is you can actually just move it where you want to underneath. Go ahead and stick the magnet down. It does adhere it. So, or you can permanently attach them.
Yes.
You can buy as many of the plates as you want, make the entire surface that way.
Yeah.
But this way we've kind of spread those out so that if I have a piece of paper or a piece of fabric, wherever we want, we can use those.
Yeah.
Remember that the mini actually has 4 of those magnet plates
Already built in.
molded into it. So
Yes.
they're built into the system.
Yes.
So the additional plates themselves work fantastic for the mid and the large size, or the basic,
The basic, the premium, and the
and the
ultra.
ultra are
Yes.
a perfect place to use those. And then again, one of the specials we have is buy 2 magnets, get the extra plates for
Get the
free.
plates for free. Yes.
And that way you can use more than just
You can use 4.
one set. You can use more than that across, and they are phenomenally strong magnets.
Yes, they'll stick. Don't put them by your pins because they're gonna hold all of your pins.
Maybe it's the perfect way to pick them up.
Or
from
you
the
can
floor
pick
if
them
you
up off
can't
the floor
see.
with
Yeah,
those too.
yeah.
That actually is really good. Then you won't step on them. So that's fantastic. So those are all of our light boards. So all of them are on sale for a different amount. The mini and the basic are 10% off right now. Then you can use that coupon code 12 days for an additional 15% off. I think the premium, I'm going to say it's 10%. I think it might be more than that. So
go ahead.
big surprise. Go
Take a
check it
look.
out.
Again, if this has been on your list of something that you found for your texting, your sewing, your quilting, any of the other type of hobbies that you're doing, that would be amazing if you had like. You talk about
Yes.
you love having one when you're doing Legos with the kids.
I build Legos with my grandson on
If
it.
you have grandchildren,
Yes.
if this is with you, a husband or another loved one that you know loves or is into art, this is a fantastic gift, not only for them or for you, but for them as well. And it can be used in so many other ways, including the fact that we have the cutting mats.
The
that
cutting
come
mats
with
come with them.
everyone. Everyone comes with its own.
And
size
you don't
cutting
need
mat.
it. You don't need a special rotary cutter for them. You can use any rotary cutter.
Often I see here us using blades to cut.
Yeah,
Like if we're doing paper
X-Actos.
crafting, we're
Mhm.
actually using the X-Actos to cut
Yep.
those, not necessarily the rotary cutters.
X-Acto.
Fabric, we're using rotary cutters, so
Yeah.
you can use
Any
different
of that.
type of cutting tools themselves that
Yes.
work fantastic with that.
Yeah, choose your favorite cutting.
Choose your favorite. Now
Doesn't
let's do the.
So there's an extra special deal with the Glow Basic today. Now the Glow Basic on its own is not a special. We have a limited supply of special bundles. So there's not a lot of them. Like we've been selling them through the 12
So now
days.
tell me. So we've got a little bit of a bundle.
We have a little bit of a bundle with the Glow Basic that's on
Okay.
sale.
this one
That
here.
comes with the green one. So it does have to be plugged in, but that's totally fine. Like how many plugs do we have in our sewing rooms?
It's great.
1,000.
It's great.
'Cause
Let's
You have
just-
to plug everything.
let's-
So
yeah.
it comes with the cutting mat, but it also comes with our tempered glass mat. So the tempered glass mat is a special mat, and it might be. So this fits right over the lighted area of your basic. If you have that cord that I gave you, we'll plug this basic back in. So it's got what you can do with your tempered glass mat. So it's a treated glass. It's kind of like a glass
I'm gonna
stove top.
pick that up really quick. Let's just put this underneath. We'll
Yeah.
help the glare from everybody so that we and then
Awesome.
push that towards that back part.
Okay.
There you go.
It's kind of like a glass stove top or like the glass in your refrigerator. Those things are really hard to break, right? So it's super, super
It really
durable.
is a stovetop glass, so it's very, very
Very-
durable.
yes.
Heat resistant.
Think about that. If
Yeah.
it's a stovetop glass, it's heat resistant. Now, it's a great general crafting mat. So if you do paper crafting and you do mixed media, you can do all of that stuff right on top of here. So paints and inks and glues and all those kinds of things you can do right on top of the glass. It cleans up really easily. If you get glue stuck on there, you just scrape it off with a razor
Get a
blade
flat razor blade. You can go ahead and write
and it won't
across that
scratch. So it
surface.
won't scratch your glass. But our quilters and sewers really love it
Let me come back.
because
Let me come back, and I apologize.
That's
I'm
okay.
coming back into this. One of the things that a lot of people start to think about when we're using this, and you're having to clean it, is they do worry maybe about like, what about the grids? Are we going to lose those? Can we use those? Like how come this particular surface is working so well based on the way you designed this?
yeah, so the grid on here is screen printed on the back. So
Backside,
if you do get paint or glue stuck on in there and you have to use your razor blade to scrape it off, because that happened to me because I had to leave my project and come back to it and then it was all stuck. I use this. We were talking earlier about what kind of Christmas crafts are you doing with it? I made little Christmas trees with like little foam triangles and beads that I put around it. I did it on top of here so I could see better and I could set my hot glue gun on here. And as it dripped, when you're using your hot glue and it dripped onto the glass,
You can get
super easy
pull it
to
off
clean
when
up.
you're done.
Just whip it right off. But
All right. Sorry, I
Yes, no,
interrupted
you're
you.
okay.
Back
You're
to the
totally
biggest
okay.
reason that those with
The
fabric
biggest
are
reason
this.
is because it will take the heat of an iron. Like we said, it's like your glass stovetop, so it will take a heat of an iron. So when you are laying your applique pieces out, you can use the grid, so you can square it up where you want it to be, and then you can iron your fusibles right on top of it. So because there's little feet on it, and there's space between the glass and the board, it doesn't transfer down. So the heat kind of dissipates throughout the glass, and you can iron right on top of your light. So you can see exactly what you're doing, exactly where your pieces are going. And it's so great to do that because you can do it all in the same area. Now there is a special bundle with the Glow Basic and the tempered glass together. They are on sale. Plus you can use that 12 days, 15% off code to get it. Today's the last day for that, but there is a limited supply of the basic and glass bundle combo. So make sure you go find that. Now I do want to mention that the tempered glass is available on its own, and you can use the coupon code for that. So if you already have one of the other light boards, or you want to get like the ultra light board, you can still get the tempered glass and still use it, because you can use this one on top of your ultra board. It will take up half of the lighted area. So you can use this as your cutting surface and this is your ironing surface, and you can do all of your projects right in the same space, which is so great. It's an amazing thing to be able to do that. You can use your little templates.
Whether we're cutting.
You can cut your pieces out, then you can iron them right on here. You can cut your fusibles out. You can iron it right on here, all in one space. You don't have to like pick everything up and try to move it, because I know that there's things like to not have to go too far away, but you're still moving it, right? And here you're like setting it on the glass with the light and iron it right on here.
This is a common question. This is one that Janet is asking. Her question is, let me leave this up there. Sorry. Do we remove the cutting mat before putting the glass on?
You do not have to.
Nope.
You can.
So one of the big things is, again, obviously the cutting mat and the light board are not heat resistant. The glass is. And so if we're using this, we're pressing a little bit and then we're pulling that off or leaving the iron up, you can use this as is with the glass on the side. So you can kind of go back and forth. Here's one thing you bring up is if I have a steam iron, what's kind of tell me that little bit of a secret?
Yes. So you can use a steam iron on it. It's not going to hurt the glass and it's not going to hurt your thing. But when you're using steam, as you guys know, like the water might pool a little bit on the glass. So be careful about that. If you're worried about the fabric that you're using, that you don't want it to get wet, I wouldn't recommend the steam. You can though.
Again, if you're using all the heat transfer and everything else you're going to do, that's perfect for all of that.
Do be careful if you are using the glass on top of the cutting mat. You're totally fine to do it, but don't let the iron, don't let it
hang out as a friend.
Don't let it hang out on here and like go over the edge of the glass like this here. It's not on, so I can touch it. So, but if don't do that, because that heat may transfer onto your cutting mat. Make sure you're staying within the bounds of the glass, and you're totally
good.
A
lot of you might have like a silicone pad or something else that you can move the iron to, or set it while you're moving and reworking it.
Yes.
This is perfect because that way you can keep the surface from the right, cutting, fussy cutting a few things, moving them over, binding them together with the heat that you're going to be doing with the iron in order to secure them in place.
Yes.
And press them together, and then you can continue through the entire project. Small projects or big projects. Give me the size of this glass mat really quick.
So the glass mat, the grid is just it's about 11 by 16. It's a little bit bigger than 11 by 16 grid, and it'll fit right in the in the side.
Now I'm going to do this. Let me just show from the top down. I wanted to kind of explain just so this is the middle size as well. Go ahead and grab that glass mat. Glass mat fits right on top of this one as well, quite nicely. So I just wanted to show you that very easily.
Yes.
If you are by chance in your own space, and go ahead and turn that one on for me. You might have your table, same thing where you can put your lit surface if you would like, and then your glass to the side. A lot of people do like, depending on whether you're using the mat or not. Some people do love to do the alignment because we end up with the grid on the light before you're going to press them down. Is to use those, again, swapping them out. Or again, you can put them right on top of that grid as well. So I just wanted to see
because
that.
If you do need to like pick it up and move it, like the thing that I love about this is it's not like it doesn't move like wool or silicone does. It stays stable. So if you have your pieces lined up where you want them to be, and you have to lift them and move them, they don't slip because it's a super hard surface.
And then again, this was our mini size mat, the light board here, our mini, which is here. And so again, each one comes with their cutting mat, their plugs. We do have the the premium, which is the battery powered one.
Yes.
Portable, a lot more so than the other ones.
So many.
But that's what we have. So let me bring out
one
really, other thing too.
You kind of need one of each for all the different reasons.
We do. I'm just going to take this and put it back underneath for you. I'll take that. that.
Take that. I'll put this down. This other item here is on sale as well. This is our rotating cutting mat. So this is 10% off today. And you can also use your 12 days coupon for an additional 15% off. This is the last day of our 12 days. Everything is back on sale. So this is our rotating cutting mat. This is the swivel, we call it. So there's a couple of things about
really
the
quick,
swivel.
just with the group that's here with us, if you've been with us for a while, thank you very much. It looks like a few other people have joined too. What we've been doing is as a recap, we are on day 12 of 12 days of Christmas. Today, what we're doing is if you've had your Christmas wish list, some of you have had a chance or have bought products over the last 12 days. Thank you very much. Those of you who have a few items left on your list and want to gift them to yourself or to someone else or to have a loved one gift them from you, today is an ideal day because what we're doing is going back and applying that same discount today with the coupon to make sure that there is no reason for you to pass back up on that today. So right now we've gone through several different things, the flip and folds, mini totes.
Yeah, because if you missed one of the days,
yeah,
it's all back on sale today.
Here we go. We've got the light boards. We just went through the 3 different sizes of light boards with the 4th one, which is our battery operated. We talked about the cutting mats, the glass accessory. We've talked about magnets that you can add or use with them to help keep things in place. We're going to be talking about this rotating mat. What else are we missing that we're going to want to cover?
We're going to some tote bags.
Then the cropping, the paper cutting
and
goods
the
too,
paper
right?
cutter, yeah.
So if you're with me and those things are still of interest, hang around with us because we are going to be
we have some more. We're not done yet.
A few other products in order to make sure everybody has a chance to see what they do a little bit since we're not doing all of the projects that they can be done with, but giving you some clarity on how you can use those and why is now the time versus waiting another couple weeks. And a lot of you, again, I'm just going to say this.
Yes.
Melanie, we're all busy right now.
We're so busy right now.
A lot of stuff going on. We in our minds, we're stacking everything that you probably have going on. I know tonight we have our company party. We've got things happening this weekend.
I had another company party over the weekend.
You might be traveling. Next week is the holidays. And everybody's like, I don't know if I can think about this. Great. Don't worry about thinking about it. Just get them, ship them, and you can use them once Christmas is here and everybody's left. Or heck, if you're traveling, get the things to travel with them.
Yes, get the premium or the flip and fold because those you can take with you.
Now is the time to get those at the best price you're going to get. Get them for New Year. Finish out this year. Get some projects going. Yeah. Hopefully, on some other things you might want to get yourself. You might already have those in your stocking that you've already brought.
Right.
Bought a couple patterns, maybe some foundation paper pieces.
Yes. Amazing.
All right.
Finish your projects. These will help you finish all those projects that you have building up.
So now we have one of these other amazing products, and I'll just quickly say this: as I was introduced into CutterPillar, I've known them for many, many years, as I've been in the quilting world for a little over 18, and I've always thought things that seemed like why didn't that exist before? A great, clever way of combining what I'm going to say a little bit of some technology, because we've got lights, and a little bit of technology with some functions, and then if we have functions, it's actually how to make them work better than what people might currently
have experience.
So I love how they have brought this together, and this is kind of one of those pieces where on its own it works great, but if you couple it with other CutterPillar products, it's even better. So it's even better.
So this is our swivel rotating mat, and Nathan's right. Like over the years, we've seen rotating mats. What I've experienced with rotating mats is either A, they don't rotate, which is just a circle mat. They're stuck, and you have to,
or they're just pieces
rubbing against each other.
Yeah.
Or they rotate too much. Like I've had a couple that just keep rotating, and then I cut myself when I'm using it, which neither of those things are good. Dangerous. So this is our rotating cutting mat. So it works on these ball bearings here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it spins really nice and smooth on these ball bearings, right? Look at that. So that's how it spins on the ball bearing. So it's a nice smooth spin. But if you can also kind of see, there's these little pieces that hold it up, and then there's these little stoppers all around the edges.
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna hold it right here. You can see we've got these little stoppers both inside. And now here's the other thing. You might not know this, but this is what we take different. They're actually different sizes.
They're different sizes.
Slightly different in the thickness.
Yep.
And that's all very purposely driven.
Yes.
You know, not one thing was, hey, let's just put some things to stop it from sliding. Because guess what? We also need it to what?
We need it to rotate.
We need it to rotate freely when needed. But
yes, but when you put the pressure on it, it won't continue to rotate.
I love that.
So when you are doing your squares, and why do you need a rotating mat in the first place? Like we have cutting mats, right? But why do you want a rotating one? What I love about using a rotating one is I can trim my piece out, right? I can trim it on one side, and then I can turn the rotation, and I can trim it on the next side, and I can turn it, and I'm not resetting it ever. I can just turn it, and trim it, turn it, and trim it.
Small conveniences,
yes.
But boy, do they make things a lot easier. They
yes.
make quicker. They make the process. Statistics, just, you might not know this. A report was done, a study for everybody who dealt with fabric. The number one thing that people love doing was, by the way, purchasing and buying, like selecting.
Oh, yeah.
They
'Cause
love
there's-
patterns. Number two is what patterns do I want, but they really love the fabrics and the beauty.
That's a
of what
whole
they're willing
other
to buy.
hobby.
The least thing they liked was
Cutting, I'm sure.
cutting. So anything you can do to make cutting easier, that is the key goal.
Yes.
So again, the rotating mat so that you can just quickly square up, move
Yes.
around.
But
Makes
it's-
a big difference.
Yeah, so you can cut the one side, but when you're putting the pressure down, it
love
doesn't
that.
continue to spin. Like you're
I love
not
that.
gonna.
So
it's
again,
not
let
gonna
go. Let
move.
me just try this.
So
again,
it'll rotate,
easy rotation.
and
then if I
then
want, put a little bit of
put
pressure.
a little
and
pressure
not
down.
a lot, just
Not a
enough
lot.
because they have those little fingers and it
Yep,
holds them in
it
place.
holds it in place. So the cutting mat that comes with it is reversible, so you can cut on both sides of it. So one side you have all of your measurements that you can read really easily. If you want to cut on the other side, this is great for templates or square rulers or things like that.
Crazy
It is
thick.
super thick. This is a really, really thick mat. So it is so durable.
Wow.
It'll last forever. You can cut, and that's why you can cut on both sides of it.
That's
Yeah.
like beefcakes cutting mat there. That is
Yes.
awesome.
And I like to tease because if you're not cutting on it, you can use the base for your charcuterie board, for your drink,
pass it around.
pass it around. Because the other thing that is so very cool about it is, as we've been lifting it up and showing it, it's translucent. So you can put that light on and it will shine through your swivel. So it'll shine
look
through
at this.
your mat. So you can
There you
see
go.
through
Let's
there.
do a top-down
yeah.
picture there.
So you can really line everything up how you want because you can see those
I
lines
love
through
this.
there.
So again, going back, this is what I'm talking about, the combination, because, and I'm going to bring up this comment about rotary cutters, rotary one. So hold on a second here. This is what Joyce mentioned. She said, I had a round one that I threw away because it was too dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. And so again, what we're doing is we're solving a couple of those pieces by incorporating things that remove the danger.
Yep.
Put them together because you can say, hey, a rotary mat on its own is going to be great. Not letting it slip is better. Having the double thickness on the mat's even better.
Yes.
And now what you just did is like, it was
Now
like,
you can see.
let's put the light through it so we can use all of the functions
Yes.
of why we have light. Maybe you just want it because it's, again, bringing that light so you're not dealing with shadows.
Right.
I love the other thing. Go ahead and show us this
So
here.
again, like on the mats that come with the light boards, because that light will shine through your ruler, you can get super accurate in what
I
you're
love
trying
that.
to do
Line
because
that
you
right
can
back up
line
with
that right up and
top
you can
down
see
there.
exactly what you're doing. So you can make sure that you're straight, because if you're lined up on both sides, then you know that's going to be a straight cut. And that's the whole thing, right? Line it up on both sides of your
love
ruler
that.
and you can cut straight. We had a question about the biggest block. So the block here, our little cow block, is 8 by 8.
There we go. Thank you, Helen, for asking the question.
Yeah, this is an 8-inch block. So you can go, like, the measurements go out to 14, but obviously
I think square by square is
square
what?
by
1,
square, yeah.
2,
So
3,
you're
4,
looking at
5,
like 9 or so inch
6,
blocks.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Almost 10
inches.
Almost
Yeah,
10.
so 9-inch would fit inside of there. 10 would be the
10,
very edge.
10, yeah,
It's a
10 would
little
be
too
right
far.
at
So
the
about
edge.
a 9.5, so
yeah.
about 9.
Yeah, so
There
that,
you go, Helen. A 9-inch block
Thank you
would
for
be
that.
about the biggest you're going to want. 9.5 is going to push that. So recommendation is 9 or under.
yes.
If
and
you have other quick questions, please make sure to be asking those as we're going through. Our goal here has been help you see what we've got, let you know part of the specials, let you ask questions if you've had any questions on is it really going to do what I think it's going to do? We'd love to do that.
Yeah.
And then the other question
I just wanted to show that you can use it on.
Self-healing mat is another question.
It is a self-healing mat. Yes, it definitely
So
is.
here's
It's
the
an amazing
question.
self-healing
So
mat.
here is the
Thank you for
question.
that, Joyce.
Joyce, is a self-healing
It is a
mat? The
self-healing
answer, yes, it is.
And I just wanted to
thank
show you
Helen.
that you can use it on the smaller light boards as well. It
Yeah,
doesn't
let's do
have to be
top
on the
down
biggest one. You can use it. It'll hang over a smidge, but that's okay because you're working in the center of it most of the time
Good.
anyway.
So it works
So
with
you can
both
either the
medium and the large
basic,
size.
medium and large sizes, either one. Any of those three light boards, you can do it right on top of there.
Wonderful.
So our swivel is on sale for 10% off. Plus you can use that coupon code 12 days to get an additional 15%. Today's the last day. This is it. This is when you want to do it. So that is included as well. So the other stuff that we need to show you that's included on sale is 2 more things. And thank you for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. So the first thing is our Pro Trimmer paper crafting bundle. So the Pro Trimmer is, oh my gosh, like I mentioned earlier, you guys, I've been working in the paper crafting. It's my favorite. I've been working in paper crafting for 20 years. And this is the best paper trimmer that I ever came across, which is why I've been with CutterPillar for 7 years. This is what brought me here.
Now I'm just noticing we have this beautiful tote. We're not going to spend a lot of time on totes. Totes can come in some of the combos, but you can get any of those also using that 12-day coupon on sale as well.
Yes.
So that way you know we do have totes. We
have
totes
totes
one
for
day
everything.
too,
We
so-
have totes that fit the
All
smaller
right.
light boards. We have totes that fit the bigger light boards. We have totes that fit the trimmers.
Oh.
Totes are on sale too.
All right.
So this is our Pro Trimmer, right? Trimmer tote. So that's on sale as well. But we have a bundle. So if you go find the bundle is on sale for the paper cutter and the tote bag together in a bundle. It is also on sale. Plus you can use that coupon code 12 days to get that additional 15% off. So if we take the paper cutter out of this, I'm just going to show you quickly why the paper cutter is so amazing. So first of all, your rotating blade is inside your cartridge. So this is nice and safe. You're not going to accidentally cut yourself, which is amazing.
I'm gonna show that here.
So you can see it's inside there. Leave it in there for a second because there is gears that rotates that blade. You can kind of see that in there. There's a gear track in the bar, and there's
you'll
gears
notice,
in
watch
there.
that spin slowly.
It spins on its own. Like I'm not pushing down. Like so many of your rotary cutters, you have to push down, and then the friction of it hitting the mat on that's in the gutter part of it is what makes it rotate. But this rotates on its own. I like to say it's kind of like you're guiding a power saw rather than having to use your energy to do it. You've also got 2 different grades of steel. So when you're using it, it's kind of like you're sharpening your knife in the kitchen. You can, it will keep itself sharp. It's self-maintaining, just like if you're sharpening your knife in the kitchen. It's not going to last forever and ever and ever, but I've had mine 8 years and I have never replaced my blade. So you can do that. Then we've got the LED light bar, and that light bar will light your cut line. So when you've got your paper on here, you can see, let's flip that camera.
Paper?
Yeah, we're good. Let me see. You can see right there is where that cut's going to be. Right there. And so because you can see, and because the blades stay so sharp, you can actually cut down to about 1/64 of an inch. So you can get super tiny, super smooth. Now you can see that's just copy paper that I cut, but you can also cut cardstock. You can cut up to 100-pound cardstock, and it will cut when you are matting your photos or you're matting your elements on your cards or your layouts, and you get off by just a tiny little bit. You try to pull out your scissors to fix it. I'm going
to turn the slide up so you can kind of see how thin.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this one. Look at that one.
Just paper thin.
Look at that.
Here, put that on this really quick so you can see that.
Look how tiny that is.
I'm going to zoom in on this and look at how even that is just cut.
Yeah.
That's
So
one of the differences.
Don't pull out your scissors and try to fix it because nobody
Good
does
luck.
well with
Not
that.
gonna
None
get
of
that.
us can do that very well unless we're kindergarten teachers.
No
Kindergarten
way.
teachers are the only ones that can cut straight.
Skilled kindergarten
I
teachers.
can't do it.
Some of you might be out there. If so, that's
If you
great.
are, that's great. I'm proud of you. I can't do it.
Way to go.
So, and then this one also has a little storage drawer. So you can store your projects and things in there. And it has a little extra piece where you can store embellishments and stuff with whatever project you're working on. I hide candy in mine because then I don't have to share with my family and they don't think to look. Joyce, I see your question. Thank you very much for asking it. It is not made to cut fabric. It is made to cut paper. But I will tell you that I have taken some Material Magic before and stiffened some fabric up super stiff like paper. Then it can. So you'd have to Material Magic it first, but you also have to be really careful because sometimes the fibers get stuck in the gear. So be really, really careful with that. But
the goal is that this is really for paper crafters,
paper crafters,
trimming,
yes.
Uniquely because it has this self-sharpening edge. Let's zoom back in on there. This hardened steel piece. The blade again rotates, and then it's very safe because what we've ended up with is that blade actually does not extend below the surface, so you actually can't get into the blade. And then again, I know that you've loved the light. Again, this is a huge difference because the light, again, I love when you show this, Melody, is we can start to see exactly where that is in that cut line. Because, and by the way, from the top down, you're looking at this, you might not know what you're looking at. Really quick, what you're seeing is that black line is actually the edge of the steel. This white is the paper that is being illuminated. I'm going to put my hand in there so you can kind of see that as it darkens off. So that's actually what you're seeing is that precision line that is available for you to line up on. So I love seeing that.
And it'll shine through cardstock too. Like it's a little harder to see, but you can see that shadow line, so you know exactly where it is you're going to be making your cut.
Nice.
So we've been making this since 2011. So it's the best trimmer out there. So if you are a paper crafter, actually any household probably needs it because you always get the pictures of your kids or your grandkids from the school where you can't ever cut those straight. So you can use it on here because you can see that line.
A lot of the other brands is they put them on a flat surface and it's like a rotary blade pushing down. So you have to put this pressure down.
Yep.
And then the surface underneath it, by the way, wears and it makes it harder and harder. And I'm pretty sure if you've done it, you find yourself putting this pressure, go. And it ends up making kind of like frayed paper edges and it's sloppy as if it's colored. If it's colored on the outside and white on the inside, it starts to pill and pull. So it's one of those things that is not, it doesn't cut the way you really want to. So this particular trimmer, the best trimmer that you're ever going to come in contact with.
Yes. So wow, that was a lot of things. That's a lot of things. We've been doing our 12 days of Christmas. Today's the last day. So this is our last day of the series. It's been so much fun to have everybody here. We decided today for our last day to put everything back on sale. Thank you, Wilma. We decided to put everything back on sale, which is great because if you missed one of the days, if you've been waiting, you weren't sure, now's the day to do it because Even if it's not a Christmas present for yourself, you know you're going to need it. You know you're going to need it after Christmas. You know you're going to need it next year because you're going to have time. You're not going to be as busy. You can start working on your projects.
Let's do this really quick
Now's
as we
the
kind
time.
of conclude. First is if you have any other questions, we'd love to hear them.
Yes.
If you've had any tremendous success with your CutterPillar products, we'd love to hear those as well. But we're here to help answer questions that you might have. Right now, what I'd like to do is find out. One is I would like to find out what might be stopping somebody from buying, and then why would now be a time. So not just the price or discounts.
Yeah.
But I think people a lot of times, let's go to the light boards. I think light boards in general, people think, yeah, would I use it?
Yeah, I don't know. I really need it. The thing for me, this is the thing about the light boards is they look so cool. Like you can obviously go, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Even this, look how
cool it is.
That's amazing.
Like you glow. But would I ever use it? Do I really need it? This is the thing about it that I found with it. Now that I have them in my house, I tend to pull them out and use them for things I never thought I would. Because yes, of course, you can trace your patterns on there. Yes, of course. But then you can tell yourself, I don't do that much applique. It's totally fine if I just stick it to my sliding glass door and I can only work when the sun's out and my shoulders get tired. It's fine. I don't do it that often. But I will tell you what, when you have it, I have done more applique projects now because I can do it so much quicker and easier and more accurately. It goes so much faster. We do all these kinds of other things on these light boards now. We do Legos, we do puzzles, we do paint by numbers.
Go back, one of the things you find is light in general just helps us see. It helps us see outlines. It helps us see the top. It helps us remove shadows. And so these boards are continuously becoming more and more popular for many different things. So to your point, if I bring it home, I am pretty confident that if you thought you'd use it for the foundation paper piecing, if you thought you were going to use it for doing part of the tracing in order to create, do the application.
You're going to use it for so many more.
You're going to find 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's not because you're going to be forced to. You're just going to say, boy, isn't that so much easier and better to use? And then I'm going to talk about just the time of day again.
Yeah.
And I talk about the lights because a lot of people, you're going to buy something that sits on your table, or the other big thing I always think about is you have your room. This is me personally. So this is when I work and I'm doing something with my wife. I like to go be in a space with her, but I don't necessarily, my space isn't there. I might have had my hobbies and my other things. No. But again, if I want to, and she's out and she's sitting in the living room, I like to go be in the space. And so to me, this allows you to bring parts or pieces of that also into other areas. And so you can take the light and make that.
You can be together with your family. You also can use it to hide from your family, but you can use them to be together with your family.
Maybe they'll never
I usually hide with
the
the premium that has the battery. I hide sometimes, but there are times, and a lot of times, that you want to be with your family. Like everybody's in the living room. My adult kids come over, they're watching movies, or they're watching something in the living room, and I'm working on a project that I just want to get done. So I will take the board with me out there. The other thing that it is phenomenal for is honestly for your workstation, because even if you have amazing light in your room, even if you have all of those lamps, like those super great lamps that come off of the floor or sit on your table, they're great, but you and your hands are still causing the shadows on your projects. Like you are still causing all those shadows. You see that?
For just a moment.
Yeah.
So again, we're looking at the shadows. And so what happens is, now put your hands even a little bit closer.
Yeah, because you're working on it down
dark.
here.
And so if you're working on it and doing things like this, what ends up happening is you have to look around and you're trying to find, and the light's not shining where you want it to. So
when you turn that on, there's no shadows.
We eliminate all of that. So everything just a lot easier to see. So much easier to work with.
Because our eyes are getting tired, Nathan. Our eyes are getting older and they're getting tired. And so extra light on anything is amazing.
Helps a little bit.
It totally helps. So now's really the time. Like outside of the discounts that we're offering today as the last day for the discounts, it just helps so much.
I absolutely agree. I want everybody to think how or what might you, and if you're here with me, go ahead and share this in the notes. I'm curious, what might you see yourself using this for? How can you imagine yourself using this in your current craft room or in your sewing room, your studio?
Yeah.
Out with the family if it's on the couch. We talked about the different types of things from the diamond arts to tracing and paper piecing.
Stamping.
I go back to even just the fun things like puzzling. If I had something, I know we gave my mother-in-law puzzle, and I thought her house actually, even though there's lights, I'm like, it feels a little bit darker. I'm like, it would be nice just to go have this over in the area and say, oh, let me just kind of work on this. And the other thing she's trying to find out is like, where's my cardboard? How am I going to do this? Because she didn't want to leave it on the table. She wanted to shift it. So what a great other place to do something. So there's a lot of different things. Again, if you're big into the quilting, the other thing right now that we don't have on this is
the cutting mats.
That come on. And we had mentioned this. If you're just joining us, the cutting mats just are not clear and see-through. They have a special adhesive non-slip surface on the back. So when they get placed down, what you'll find is that they just don't move. You can't go grab another mat. Let's flip it over.
Because
I love
normally
showing
this
They
is what will happen.
slide and they move around when we're pushing on them.
Yep.
And so the other, here, if we look at the top, so then this non-slip surface on those keeps them in place, so they just don't move.
They just don't move.
You end
This
up with,
is the other thing, though. Let me just tell you this one other thing
Yeah.
that I used my big light board for. We had a big party, pool party for Mother's Day, and we set like drinks and stuff on here. We put like colored cellophane on here, and we put snacks and drinks out on here, and we plugged it into the island, and it was so cute. So many
Fun.
things.
Great. Let us know what you might do. I see down here, this is
Foundation,
one
yeah.
bringing it in, so that's a good one. Joyce,
Thank you, Joyce.
That.
Yeah, it's amazing
Love
for
that.
all those things. So you guys, we so very appreciate you hanging with us. It's been a long 12 days and a long day today. And we really enjoy you all and your comments. And thank you so much for following us. Today is our last day of our 12 days of Christmas. So today is the day to finalize all the purchases. If you place an order today, it should ship tomorrow. So you even should get it before Christmas. So there's that too. I'm not promising anything. Shipping is a little weird, but today's the day where that is
We should. Our goal is to finish today.
So we can ship tomorrow and you can have all of your stuff
far enough in advance. That way, if you
Yes.
have an order and you want it to come in, we want to make sure you can get it.
Yes. But today's the day, guys. So use that coupon code 12 days to get 15% off of anything on the website today. Today's the last day. It'll end at midnight Mountain Standard Time tonight. So use that coupon code, and all of the stuff that we've had on every day of our 12 days is back on sale for today only. So if you were trying to get the flip and fold, if you're thinking about it, now's the day because it's 30% off. Plus you can use your coupon code. If you were waiting to get a light board, now's the time because they're all on sale. And then you can use we have a special bundle with the basic and the tempered glass mat so you can iron on your light. We have a special bundle with the paper trimmer and the tote bag that comes with it today only. Those two have limited quantities. We have very limited quantities of those two bundles. But today's the day, guys. Today is it. This is the last one. This is the last day.
Thank you for being with us. We appreciate your time. We hope if you're watching this a little bit later today that you're able to take advantage of this. And we love it. We'd love to hear from you. Feel free to reach out, join in, like, follow, and subscribe.
Yes.
Join us on our different channels. We are out there on all the different social platforms.
For sure, go subscribe because we have a surprise later this week.
Yeah, if you're not already there, get on the list, be subscribed so that you can be informed when we're doing so. And then also you can join our newsletter as well. So we'd love to do so. Thanks again here from CutterPillar.
Thank you, guys. Have a great holiday season.
You.
Appreciate it. Thank you.